I'm really proud to be Dane Stream's mom. He was an indomitable spirit. My name's Deb Dennison, and my son is Dane Stream, and here's a picture of him with me 5 years ago. My son had a rare neurological illness for 15 years, and at first they couldn't diagnose it. So for 12 years, he went undiagnosed. He had a lot of trouble walking as a teenager, and then he started falling down, and he was on forearm crutches. And we had jobs at the time. I was a nurse and insurance, and we got a lot of therapy, and Dane had 5 years of independent living where he went to Dallas and got a job and had a girlfriend. And in 2003, Dane came home very much changed, and it was a real crisis. Our insurance had dropped. Dane was on SSDI, and his income was so much that Medicaid had dropped him. And it was a 2-year mandatory wait period for Medicare. So he had no insurance, and he was very, very ill, and we didn't know what was wrong. And my son went from being upright to being in a wheelchair in a very short time. And still, they didn't know what was wrong. They just said, this is a rare neurological disorder, and it's not anything we yet can identify. It was really hard work taking care of Dane without enough money. I quit my job. I took care of Dane. He was 280 pounds, and I was lifting him. We didn't have money for a lift. He was falling on the floor 4 times a week, and it was not sustainable. So Dane went to a nursing home. My son was in a nursing home for 2 years, and during that time he was diagnosed with a rare unspecified leukodystrophy, which is a demyelinating disease that has devastating effects. And he was getting worse and worse, and in the nursing home it was hard for them to care for him. They had so many other patients, and I really wanted Dane to come home.
He's coming home.
So in May 31st of last year, 2007, we finally got Dane back home through the DNA Waiver Community Reintegration Program. And right away we applied for MeVia because I knew it was the right choice for Dane and I. And Dane then went on to MeVia and came home. So, you want to tell him what you did the first thing this morning in this house of yours?
I got up and I took a shower.
And how did you do that, Dane?
By transferring over into my shower chair and going to the shower.
Your wheelchair accessible shower?
Yes.
And then you used your bathroom today?
I used my wheelchair accessible bathroom, which is a pain in the ass. But nonetheless, I did it.
You did do it. When Dane came home, he was tooling around in his wheelchair. He was very excited about taking computer classes.
I want to read a bunch of science fiction.
And getting back into the community.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
And when he first came home, he said, "Mom, it's a palace." And I said, "No, honey, it's just a trailer, but it's home." This was Dane when he moved into this room. He was laughing and he said, "Mom, I got my own crib. It's so great." And we had baby monitors, so we could hear him just fine, but it gave him a sense of independence. With MeVia funds, we were able to provide a lot of different kind of caregivers and the services he really needed, like PT, OT, speech therapy. And Dane had a full life filled with a lot of people that loved him and gave really good care to him. And he also got Thai massage twice a week. We should all be so lucky. And he was actually improving from all of that. And what we really did with our MeVia funds was put it into caregiving. That was the most important thing for us. Mivia bought us the opportunity to bring people to us where we live, not to go into a city. And that was just excellent. I think that Dane really, after being institutionalized, he was so grateful to be here. And that was the best part, you know, was bringing him home where he deserved to be, and we wanted him to be here. So thank you. In 4 months, Dane went from being a paraplegic to a quad, and had a massive infection and couldn't use his arms anymore. Where he could use to transfer off of a sliding board, we needed a lift. All of those things traditionally don't get paid by D&E waiver, so we needed money to put in special equipment because Dane was so rare and so specific, and he kept changing so fast. We needed Mivia money to obtain those, and we got a very nice lift. And on October 31st, Halloween, Dane became very ill and was hospitalized for 2 weeks. His illness had come to a terminal stage.
Do you want to say anything, Dane?
I want to go home.
Of course you do.
And on Christmas Eve, we started hospice with Dane,
That works.
and we talked a lot about what it meant. And Dane really was very clear on wanting to be home. So we finished this room so that he would have a really wonderful place to die where he could see the mountains and have a lot of light. We could wheel his bed right out on the deck so he could see the Ortiz. He died on May 2nd, and he died a really sweet, peaceful death. We made a garden for Dane, and it's very beautiful, and it has been very healing to have Dane here. And when Dane died, we had a funeral that everybody thought was the sweetest funeral they'd ever been to. It was very comforting just to put him in the earth. And we are going to plant flowers and trees in Dane's honor. But Dane's right here. And I'm really grateful to Mivia because I'm really delighted that my son was here, surrounded by the people who loved him, and that we were giving him such good care was really because we had gotten funded. So thank you. And my son actually wanted to thank you. He wanted, but so